girlfriend wanted to marry to fix her expired visa.
This is a business transaction.
I, 29 male, came out of a long relationship amicably in January last year, and 3 weeks later went on a date with a girl, 27 female, from OKCupid, my only ever online date. I'm European, she's Asian. We had a great time and things progressed. We became a couple and continued to have fun. By the way, this comes from In1. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, after being together only a month, I moved countries for my job. I had already been planning this. We stayed together via Skype, and a few months later, when her visa expired, she joined me. It seemed like a good idea to let her stay with me since we were getting along well and the new city is expensive. I didn't ask her to pay rent for the first few months as she didn't have a job, but now she's paying and on the contract with me. Forward a couple of months, and I found out pretty quickly that she has very strong emotions during her period, at least stronger than other girls I have spent a lot of time with. Normally, she gets very depressed and shouts and blames me for a lot of problems. Probably some are true. I've tried to adjust my behavior to accommodate this, movie nights in, massages, flowers, chocolate, and do all I can to comfort her in these times. Real quick pause. Honestly, it might be a hormone imbalance.
Oh, yeah?
If this is like really intense, because obviously, you know, you're going to have some kind of emotional things when you're on your period, but if it's like huge disparity from how she acts to, you know, this, then it might be like she should go to a doctor and, you know, see if her hormones are okay.
I was just going to say, y'all shouldn't have ate that apple. That's a much more real take on that. Hope that apple tasted good.
It's delicious.
Wow.
I'm so smart now. But I tell
No,
her...
I'm an English major. The apple of English majoring.
But I tell her usually tactfully a few days before the event that I can comfort her, but I cannot engage these tantrums, for want of a better word. You really got to pick a better word. If you're telling us that she goes like nuclear when she's on her period, we cannot be using the word tantrums. And we have to wait until she calms down. I feel like a bit of a butt, but sometimes I just have to leave until she's less upset, at which point we can normally resolve the issue. I don't think she likes this. She'd rather hash it out in a big argument, but that just doesn't work for me. I can't function in a heated discussion. So all this I can basically deal with. I just thought I'd mention it as it seems relevant. The reason I'm asking you guys for advice is this month she has been more upset than usual because her student visa expires in 6 months. It's also coming up to her birthday and our 1-year anniversary. As an Asian, she doesn't feel that there is any way to continue living in Europe as she can't find a job.
What does that mean?
Wait, you got 6 months to find a job.
Just don't understand what, as an Asian, she feels like she can't find a job in Europe.
No,
Is that,
no.
What does that mean?
No.
What? Read that again. I'm confused.
I think you did not understand that.
What did?
As an Asian, she doesn't feel that there is any way to continue living in Europe as she can't find a job. She's saying that she doesn't have a means of getting a visa because she's been looking for a job. But if she can't find a job that gives her a work visa.
I had to say, I was like, what do they don't just hate Asians in Europe, right? That'd be crazy.
And she asked me what I think we should do. I said, I'm sure we can do the research and find a way for her to get a visa, perhaps another student one, enabling her more time to find work. And I will spend as much time helping her as necessary. After finishing a list of options, we spent most of the evening doing this, she burst into tears and asked why I hadn't put marriage on the list. My responses were something along the lines of, I know that would be an option for getting your visa, but I only want to marry for the right reasons, and I'm just not ready for that. But I'll help with the visa any other way I can. Can we please have this discussion when you're calmer? This has not gone down well yet.
Oh, this is brutal.
Firstly, she is offended that it's even a possibility that she wants to marry for the visa. Well,
She's offended?
That's it.
But she just said
She
that.
just said that. I'm confused. She says after 1 year together, she's sure I'm the one and is ready to marry and wants to do it now because it will be convenient to solve visa problems.
Okay, so you're what are you?
I don't understand
You
why she's
just
upset.
said that.
Secondly, she says that if I don't want to marry now, will I ever? Yeah?
Don't marry this girl.
I mean, like, most people take a couple years before they make that decision. Why is 1 year not enough to think about marriage? I wonder if there's like a cultural kind of difference. What will happen in 6 months when she leaves? Do I not care? If I love her, I should do anything to keep her.
But there's other things you can do, right?
I mean, like, OP's trying to, you know, Help. My response was that I would consider it in the future, but I'm pretty sure that I will not be ready to commit like that in the next 6 months. And anyway, right now I can't really give a sane response. 1, because I hadn't really thought about it, and 2, because she was crying and shouting at me. This was a few days ago, and now I think about it, I feel pretty much the same. I love her, I like being with her, I can imagine a future together, but I am not ready to commit. I told her as much, and she doesn't accept this. She thinks I will never commit. She deserves more commitment than I show her, and that I have commitment issues. She's got other issues.
He literally sat down and helped you, like, make a whole game plan to get you a visa to stay in the country. That's a commitment.
Absolutely. He didn't have to do that.
He literally just doesn't want to marry you for the technicality of getting you a visa.
So sorry for the wall of text, but what do you think? Am I being an a-hole? If I'm not ready to marry and the thought of it makes me even think of breaking up rather than doing that, then should we break up? I also factor in that we live together and made all our friends in this new city together. On the contrary, does it sound like, admittedly completely from my side of the story, she's just trying to get a visa? I'm fairly sure it's not through malice. She's sincere. I've met all her family who probably want her to come back to Asia but are happy that she's happy. And I'm sure she's in love with me. I think that maybe she is just more inexperienced than I realized. As far as I know, she's had one 1-year and one 2-ish year relationship in Asia and a 4-month one in Europe with the guy who sounds like an a-hole from her stories, but she never lived with a guy. I don't think she's really experienced in relationships. Okay, how old is she?
Let me check.
Dude, this is like when you have to get like a freaking PhD to get a job. How is that not experienced?
27 female.
Yeah, I don't.
A year long, a 2-year long, and a 4. That's
because they haven't lived with their partner before.
But he said experience in relationships. She's 27. She's absolutely experienced relationships in that bar.
You're right,
No,
though.
I don't know. I mean,
3 long-term relationships?
well, we don't know when those long-term relationships were. Like, if she says like high school,
But 1 year and 2-ish year, I don't know. To me, that's experience. I feel like that's not the issue, though.
I don't
Like,
know.
I
High
feel like
school me's so different from me. Actually,
But more so, my point is, like, I think he's blaming this on inexperience when I don't think that's the case.
no, I agree.
Like, I feel like she has experience in relationships. I think that she is just very focused on, one, a visa, and probably has different ideas about marriage and relationships and stuff.
I think she got to get them hormones checked.
I agree. So my opinion is that all this, with the added pressure of the period, has just made her explode. I just don't know what to do next. Sorry again for all the text, but it's been quite therapeutic to write it out. Any comments at all are appreciated. And comment 1 says, actually, you have to wait for comment 1. What do you think, though?
I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the time to be talking about this, probably.
I think it's just, you got to hold her off until she's off the period. You just got to do a couple days.
I don't know, man. If I'm getting yelled and screamed at every month, I don't like that.
Yeah. I think that the yelling and screaming is pretty,
And if it's like a, genuine hormone imbalance issue.
then we gotta get that checked out. But I also think that, like, OP's question of, like, if I'm not ready to marry her, should I just break up? I think it's, I if this were a normal situation and someone was like, I want to marry, and you were like, no, I don't think that you necessarily have to break up with that person. I think that not wanting to marry a person right now does not mean that the relationship is over. It just means that you're not ready for marriage. However, with her, it seems like this is an ongoing issue. And if she doesn't listen to you and compromise in any way, then yeah, maybe this relationship can't work out.
Yeah, I think if this conversation continues to be like this.
I know someone who was like that, where everyone in their family got married, and they're the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
They're like probably like around your age, maybe 1 year younger or so. And their long-term boyfriend was like, "Let's get married." And she said, "I'm not ready for that."
Yeah.
They broke up.
23?
Yeah, they broke up.
Wow.
They were a great couple. I was happy for them, but she wasn't ready, and he was, and it was like an imbalance on the thing. They tried to work it out, but it was like,
Yeah.
when is it gonna be? And she's like, I don't know. I can't give you a date.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to me, and that's not fair to you, kind of thing.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
Comment 1 says, you're not in the wrong. However, I do understand why she may be a bit hurt and nervous about the whole situation. She probably sees you as willing to risk the relationship ending because, let's face it, it's going to be problematic if she goes back to Asia. Not only that, but she probably also really does want to get married to you. It is most likely not just about the visa, but also about her wanting to take the next step. That your partner does not feel the same, well, it's bound to hurt. That being said, of course, you should not marry her if you are not ready. I know it depends on which European country you guys live in, but I would really give it another try to find a job. Absolutely. I mean, you got 6 months. Let's start looking. Look up cleaning positions. They are usually more accessible because many people find it beneath them to clean, at least where I live. Otherwise, yeah, try to get another student visa, and that could be a good solution. OP says, I think you have it spot on. I really don't believe she just wants a visa. She is really lovely and really loves me. Before all this, last month, period argument, she said, I wish you loved me as much as I love you. Oof.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, yow.
Trouble's on the horizon.
Yikes, man.
Captain?
I can see how it looks bad. And perhaps it's true. I am more willing to risk the end of the relationship than to get married when I don't feel ready. Is that wrong? No. Do not get married just to stop a relationship from ending. You know?
Not a very good move.
As for the cleaning job, she is an artist and very picky about what work she does, which is making it doubly hard to even suggest work options. Plus, it's dang hard. Companies do not want to pay for non-Europeans as far as I can see. I know people can get visas for jobs legally. I just don't know how or what. Doing a language or art course at university to get a student visa seems the best option. Comment 2 says she needs an immigration lawyer, not a justice of the peace. There are options for her besides marriage. Don't take responsibility for her lack of initiative. Comment 3 says, I think she should absolutely exhaust all other options of staying in the country legally without turning to a quickie marriage. It's really the best call for everyone involved. You don't want immigration breathing over your shoulder, checking if the relationship is real or not. That said, no, I don't think she's just using you for a visa. Different people have different cultural standards. In some parts of the world, people get married after a year or so. In some parts, they stopped getting married at all. You shouldn't be writing off her desire to get married as a lack of experience or immaturity, but rather a product of her cultural upbringing. What I was saying. And in this case, it's easy to see how marriage appears to be the easiest solution for her to stay with you. Fact is, it doesn't really sound like you particularly respect your girlfriend. That's probably a bigger problem for the long-run success of your relationship than this visa issue. And there is an update, folks. But yeah, I don't know if it's like necessarily respect or anything, but it doesn't sound like you necessarily like her in a way that could, make it through this kind of troublesome time, or not like her enough to get through it.
I think y'all breaking up.
It's just, just from how OP described, like, all of the stuff with the period, it seems like that's a monthly thing, and then you have this, and it seems like it's just,
Might as well call it an exclamation point.
Yeah. Why?
Because that period's extreme.
But there is an update. So we broke up.
There it is, folks. Give me the dollar. Give me the cookie. I earned it.
What cookie?
The cookie I earned for being right.
Okay. This comment really hit home. If thinking about marriage makes you think anything other than F yes, you shouldn't do it. End of discussion. Anything else is a secondary concern. I took some time to think about my life and my hopes and fears and what it means to leave a lovely girl who's ready to join her life to you. I realized that I really do want to marry someone, and I'm scared of loneliness and being too old to have children. But despite that, I don't want to rush, and I want to be sure to find the right person, and sadly, that is not her. I don't know what would have happened if we had stayed together longer, but I honestly don't think my feelings would have changed for the better. It was really hard to do because nothing was specifically wrong in our relationship. But as I said before, I just can't imagine marriage and a long-term future. So I chose my moment and just did it. But you should just listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Good luck in the future, brother. You're there now.
I think this was the right decision. I think, again, if someone wants to get married, brings up marriage and you're not ready, that doesn't necessarily mean breakup. But in this case, it seems like she was very adamant, wasn't willing to compromise. So yeah, it's not going to work out. She was really upset and I tried to explain myself, but in the end, she just got caught up on the little details and was too emotional.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter. You tried so hard and got so far.
Singing a song.
But in the end,
doesn't even matter.
Anyway. Hey, we'll go back to the story in a minute, but first we have some exciting news.
We're doing a $100 giveaway at the end of every public live stream. We go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. PST, and it is very easy to participate.
Just click the link in the comments or scan this QR code to fill out your name and number.
And we will call sometime during the stream, and whoever answers the phone gets the prize.
Mariah, you are the winner.
Yay! So make sure you're there on the stream when we call.
Okay, back to the story. I think now she has begun to accept it, but I still feel a bit bad for not having a solid reason. I would also say that it's not just about the marriage issue. That was just the catalyst to make me think this through. It's been a month and it's been tough on her. She's moving out of her apartment bit by bit, and I feel terrible for hurting her. She'll probably move to another country in a couple of months, but I'm confident I have made the right decision for both of us, and I hope she'll come to see it that way. I'm happy to have some space to myself to figure out what I want from a relationship. And that is the end of that story, folks. But yeah, I think you just gotta find someone new.
I think you moved through that experience very cogently, very cohesively.
Indeed.
Doesn't feel good.
It never feels
when
good to break up with someone.
You've been dating hurts from the breakup.
But it's worse to just kind of postpone it and have all those feelings of, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if I'm as invested as she is.
Yeah, you can't build a marriage off of just the sense of obligation to like
Not going to last.
the visa process.
Yeah.
That didn't feel right.
No siree.
Should have been like, you can pay me.
Dang.
Give me 25 thou.
So they can get arrested for that.
Give me 25 thou.
Anywho, though, we've got another story, folks.
Don't call it a payment, just call it a dowry. A dowry paid by my partner.
Interesting.
Technically, an extension of the parents. 25K dowry. Boom. My family hired an investigator to make me leave my boyfriend.
He must suck.
There is a trigger warning for emotional and verbal abuse. I, 25 female, met my partner, 29 male, in 2020 while I was finishing my undergrad studies, and we were both in the same field. Our first conversations were deep about our personal philosophies, culture, faith, and our views on the world, and we quickly realized that our values aligned so well. By the way, this comes from user I Want a Break, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, he's funny, attentive, smart, talented, and ambitious, and I was so in love, and I still am. We made it official 2 months in. Low-key, we both knew we wanted to marry each other already, but of course, we didn't rush as we were still finishing up school.
Smart.
Genius, even.
Yeah.
What school are you going to? Harvard? The Harvard-Yale School of...
The Harvard-Yale School?
The Harvard-Yale School of Dartmouth-Oxford Medicine?
Of Dartmouth, Oxford, MIT.
No, it's up Colgate. Don't forget about that.
Ah, the toothpaste university.
Yes.
We have the same religious background, but not the same ethnicity. For this reason, both of us were nervous to tell our parents about our relationship because we didn't know how they'd react. Most ethnic parents would want their kids to keep it within the culture, so to speak. But from what I know, they may be stubborn at first, but will come around eventually. Right?
Uh-oh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
For me, ethnicity is a non-issue. We're both religious, so having the same faith is more important, in my opinion. I thought my parents would think the same, because if they're so religious too, then they shouldn't place their cultural values over their faith. My partner didn't wait too long to tell his parents. They and his siblings were very supportive and welcomed me with open arms. I, on the other hand, hesitated for the longest time because I really had no idea how my parents would react. I'm a bit fearful of them, and honestly, my relationship with my parents isn't that close. Of course, they're caring and all, but not in an emotional way where I can come up to them and be vulnerable about something. Definitely not my dad. This is where I'm at fault, because even if it was hard for me to be honest with them, I should have just done so instead of hiding my relationship from them. My siblings knew before my parents did. They didn't care, but my sister, 29, on the other hand, being the eldest, was too panicked about it and advised me to just end the relationship because an interracial marriage is going to be complicated. That's insane. But that's not the advice I needed, and I didn't want to just end the relationship either. I truly believe he's my soulmate. Her entire attitude towards it was just kind of, I gave you my 2 cents. I don't want to be involved in this mess. I think it was a year into our relationship when my mom found a birthday card from my partner in my room. She found my stash of greeting cards from him and read them all.
What? Who reads birthday cards? Who reads other people's birthday cards? That's so weird.
Apparently OP's mom.
Sorry, not like who reads anybody. Like, I read my
Who
birthday
reads
cards.
birthday cards? I just open them, and
I
if
just
money
open
doesn't
them.
fall out,
But I don't read
I
them.
burn them.
No, who reads other people's birthday cards?
She confronted me with them, and she wasn't even mad. But when I told her about his ethnicity, she freaked out. She made me tell my dad, and he just laughed in my face and didn't even let me talk. It took a couple of days for my mom to calm down because honestly, she really was overreacting. The conclusion was they weren't happy with the relationship and wanted me to end it. I didn't want to, of course.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
There we go then.
It was swept under the rug. And for the next 3 years, my partner and I continued our relationship and even went on some trips together. But my parents were in the dark about the specifics of it all. Of course, the dishonesty is very wrong, but in my mind, they didn't create a safe space for me to be honest with them. Yeah, the dishonesty is not wrong. Your parents are, like, racist.
Yeah, I mean, like, immediately after you told them, they were like, ha! No, you're not. You're not dating him. It's not the most,
You're literally 25. They have no business or
I mean, you're not
right
living with
to
them.
dictate who you're in a
Yeah.
relationship with or who you're dating. Especially if it's because, like, they don't look like you.
Yeah, that's
You
a pretty,
can't date them. They
that's
don't
a
look
pretty
like you.
bad reason.
They did not come from the same place as your ancestors. Lame.
Pretty bad reasoning.
Lame.
Boo.
Go to the place
Go to the place.
in the sun.
Anywho.
I couldn't just tell them, oh, hey, I'm going out for dinner and he's going to be there. Bye. Love you. XO, Gossip Girl.
Oh, wait, does OP live with them?
I
thought she
don't
didn't, but now I'm like, maybe she does.
maybe.
Because, oh, wait, yeah, she said that her mom went into her room.
Oh, that
So I
would,
think
yeah,
OP
that's
does
fair.
still live with them. So
Okay.
that makes it a lot harder. Ugh.
The conversation about us would only be brought up occasionally in those 3 years because at this point, me and him are ready to get engaged and we just need my dad's blessing. It would always end in an argument, feelings hurt, and no blessings given. They refused to even meet him. I'm still being patient and holding out hope that my dad will come around or something. By mid-2024, my dad hadn't properly spoken to me in like 2 years, but my mom, on the other hand, is a lot more understanding. I wouldn't say she's supportive, but understanding at least. In her words, she just wants to help me avoid an unsuccessful marriage. Because in her mind, interracial marriages just don't work.
Well, that's just full on not true.
I don't know.
Where is she getting
I
these
don't know where
statistics
you
from?
are, but you need to leave.
Yeah.
Wherever your parents are, leave.
Gotta go.
I don't know, man.
Gotta go your own way.
She continued that if I'm so sure about him, though, then she will be by my side, and if it fails, she will be there with open arms. My parents are traditional, but she's always been the more level-headed one between them. Now, the catastrophe.
No.
End of 2024, my sister suddenly stepped in and asked to meet my partner.
Pretty insane that they haven't met him in this whole time.
Well, I mean, not really, given how
Which, I mean,
They're-
yes,
I mean,
not
no,
really
it's-
in terms of
you're
how
right,
they,
though.
but like,
it's
just,
insane.
yeah.
She's my dad's favorite, and if there's one person that could sway his thoughts, it would be her. This opportunity excited me and my partner because it finally felt like there's light at the end of this tunnel. We've been patient, but the stress of all this was starting to put a strain on our relationship, especially in the last 2 years. But we loved each other a lot and didn't want to let go no matter what. And we would always work things out with communication. Sister and him met up and talked for hours. I wasn't there, but it went well. He left a good impression on her, and she said she'll talk to my dad.
Interesting. She met up alone with your boyfriend
For
for the first time
guess
you're meeting?
so.
Okay.
Now she's going to report back to father. Him and I discussed beforehand that we don't need to disclose how many times we saw each other or what trips he was involved with. We know that dishonesty and hiding was wrong, but we felt like we were entitled to that privacy at the very least. He's the type that loves honesty and just says, F what people think. But I just didn't believe honesty works with my parents. I think when the reality is that if you're honest with your parents, they like disown you or tell you that your boyfriend is the wrong culture or
Then you don't have
color.
to. You don't owe them all of that information. Yeah, I think there is certain information that you do not owe to people if you know that they're going to react badly.
especially my dad, because he's someone that's very critical and will shame you for your different values. Now, I thought things would be dandy from here on, but my sister was acting weird and distant, and when I would ask her what's wrong, she would brush it off. 3 weeks of this passed, and it's the new year now. My mom sent me off to do some errands for her at a suspicious time of the day, and I really felt like something was off. I come back home, and my parents and siblings are all in the living room telling me, sit down, we need to talk. My heart dropped. I'm sorry if this is not very detailed because honestly, the event was traumatizing. They said they hired an investigator to find out everything about my partner and what our relationship entailed. That was a lie, of course. My parents didn't want to admit it was my sister that went through my devices and looked through all my messages and emails and ransacked my entire room. She proudly admitted to it later. From their findings, they concluded that he's a gaslighter, a liar, a manipulator, and that I'm a victim of this relationship. They said they found out about all our dates and trips and are holding him accountable for it. That I was forced to lie and do things against my will, and that him showering me with gifts is just a way to manipulate me. A lot was said, and I just felt embarrassed and humiliated. It was 6 against 1, and I couldn't say anything to defend myself or him. I would have just laughed.
Yeah, you should have LOL'd in their faces, just like your dad did. And been like, wow, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I might have even hit the llama.
Gift he gave me, yeah.
I might have done a little spitting.
Manipulative.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, at that point, if you
You're
like
just
are
gross,
just getting
dude.
harassed and you can't reason with these people, then you just walk out.
You're just like, okay, so we can't just be racist. So how do we?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll try to convince her she's in a toxic relationship.
Yeah, how
it's
do we
like,
double
how
down
do
on
we
being
be
really
racist in a way where she doesn't think we're being racist, but we're still being racist?
I'm just concerned all the time that you've spent together and all the trips that you've gone on and all of the notes that he sent you, and they're all actually just a tactic for him
Yeah.
to trick you
Just you wait.
into forgetting that he is the wrong kind of person.
I guarantee you the investigator's not even a real investigator. It's like a
No,
family
it
friend.
was your sister.
No. They hired apparently they hired an investigator.
No, it was that's what they said,
Oh,
but it was
it was just his
just
sister?
lied
That's
because
even
it was
funnier.
the sister who did it.
That's even funnier. Yeah, no, exactly.
He's
And
like, I dabble.
I guarantee you all of them were like, this will surely open OP's eyes.
Crazy.
I guarantee you it did, though.
I felt like I was being stripped bare as they went on and on and on about what they uncovered and what conclusions they drew from them. Him and I are semi-long distance, so most of our talks are through texts. For them to read everything, like my vulnerable side that I only felt comfortable showing him, our intimate conversations, our arguments where we both showed some really ugly sides of us, it just felt so invasive. They claimed he's putting a wedge between me and them, and that I was ruining the family peace. They wanted me to feel shame, and it worked. In the end, I was given an ultimatum, and I felt like I had no other choice but to just agree with them and leave it. I was numb. They made me block him, and my sister texted him that we're over and threatened to file a restraining order if he were to come near me. He didn't answer that text.
Good. She texted from your phone or from her phone? Are they like trying to convince your boyfriend that you're saying this?
What's going on? Yeah, no, it was through her phone. I was numb, and I couldn't even cry anymore. I surrendered. I couldn't even fight anymore. At that point, I was just nodding and agreeing to whatever they say. The following days, they were so nice to me because I was a good daughter and I complied with them. And they were the heroes that saved me from a toxic man. But I'm on house arrest and on close watch.
Whoa, that's abusive.
Well, yeah, they're
That's
just...
so funny. All the things that they're accusing your boyfriend of being, they're being.
And
Yeah,
now they're
at this
doing it
point,
to
you're
you.
25 years old. They cannot keep you there. You have to, if you have any means of moving out, staying with your boyfriend for a little bit until you move out, just get out of there because this is terrible. Terrible situation.
I had to hand over my phone when they asked so that they made sure I never
You're
reached out to
25.
him.
This is abusive. This is like kidnapping.
I am. It's coercion.
I mean, they've taken her phone and won't let her leave.
The fact that they were treating her like because she complied to what they wanted and they're still doing this is insane too. Yeah.
Yep.
Was it like this before?
No, I guess when OP was
Very odd.
when they weren't aware.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Your sister's the all-time op.
Yeah, she sucked.
Your sister
Boo.
snitched. Snitch sister.
Schnitzter.
My soulmate was ripped away from me, and I didn't know what to do. 2 or 3 weeks later, I woke up a little from my numbness. I was angry. I was angry at my sister for betraying my trust. I was angry at my father for being so bigoted, and I was angry at all of them for invading my privacy. I was angry at the entire situation because it's not my fault. They never gave me the support and comfort to even be honest with them. I made mistakes, but I blame them for it. I cried to my mom about it, and I told her, you know what? I don't care if you guys think he's a bad person. I would rather learn that on my own than to be forced to leave him and regret it my entire life. They treat me like an effing kid. I told her I will always be angry at them for what they did. She urged me to talk to my dad again and tell him what I told her. She told me I should just proceed with marrying my partner against their wishes and accept any consequences. She told me she'll be by my side. Before I talked to my dad, I sent him a letter through text. We're both non-confrontational people, so I felt like this would be a good way to express my feelings. I apologized deeply for everything. I clarified I never meant to disrespect him or my family members. I put anger aside for this letter because anger doesn't work with a stubborn man like my dad. I tried to be vulnerable. I tried to tell him that all I want is their support and trust in me. My dad didn't give an answer to that letter, but he forwarded it to my sister, and she blew up on me over text, called me a manipulator for sending the letter. Her words were so nasty, she had never made me cry as much as she did back then. Your dad's a little coward.
And also OP was like, yeah, my dad's not very confrontational. I'm like, they literally locked you in their, like, they put you on house arrest, took your phone. Like, that's pretty confrontational.
I don't know. It's not, why would he have to confront you when he has your sister as an attack
That's true.
dog?
Yeah. He like sends your sister at you. He goes, get her.
My dad came to my room afterwards to talk, or rather, yell at me. I had never cried so much. Whoever that was in front of me wasn't my dad. I never knew he could be so cruel. He threatened to leave my mom and tear this family apart if I chose to be with my partner.
Okay. Oh, wow. I thought that marriages when you were with the same ethnicity were successful.
That's the weirdest threat, too. He's like,
I'll divorce your mom and marry a person who's not of my ethnicity if you leave. And she's like, do you
want to do that?
It's like the guy, like, he's like,
No.
he's got the hammer and he's like, I swear, I'll break my TV. I'll break all the kitchen appliances. And it's just like,
Wait.
you would be doing that.
Yeah, that would be kind of worse for you and doesn't really affect me.
Why do I have a little frog in my throat right now?
Yeah, I feel like it's like you got like the villain and like he's tied a bunch of people to train tracks and he's like, I've tied my own mother to the train tracks. And the hero's like, what?
Why would you do such
Why
a
would
thing?
you do that?
Unless you stop it.
You're the hero.
My mother! Save her!
Save her. Do it now,
Yeah,
please.
It just goes from like the meh to like, just please, please save her.
Please save my mama. I didn't think this through.
I am broken and numb, and I've never felt so alone. I don't know what to do. Advice, please. It sounds like your mom would be better off not being married to this guy as well.
I think that you need to get out of here. You need to get out of this place and honestly maybe go no contact with a lot of these people, if not all.
Agreed. Educational Sugar 1551. Go be with your partner or you will be miserable for the rest of your life. You are an adult. Leave. If your partner loves you, he'll accept you with open arms. You can make your own family. Jubang Yengan says, yeah, sorry, OP, but why in the living F are you still living with these people and letting them control you to the extent where they force you to block him? Are you 15? No, you're a grown woman who's taken holidays with him and gone on dates and studied. Grow a spine and pull up your big girl pants. You have two very obvious choices here. 1, live a life of newfound freedom, healthy, supportive love, and happiness. Accept that his family adores you and will support you. Marry the man you love and see just how amazing your life can be. 2, stay miserable, controlled, mistreated, belittled, and constantly stuck in an impossible effort for your a-hole family and their approval. Be disrespected. Keep making lousy, pathetic excuses for them and live knowing your life isn't your own. It's theirs. Lose the man you love and the happiness you felt. I don't know about you, but I would choose option 1. Oh, this commenter's a little cheeky, huh?
I don't know about you, but option 1 sounds pretty nice
I
to me.
don't know about you, but I think I'd choose the one where I don't have the worst life ever. I know this is blunt, but even the way you've written this entire post, you know your family are pretty much monsters. Be your own human, make your own choice. I hope the next post I see is about how happy you are with your partner and your freedom. Not another pathetic post trying to excuse your family and their monstrous behavior. Dogs Ducks says, I just read on another post about a toxic relationship that there are victims and there are volunteers. OP was a victim for many years. It seems like she was trapped in bigotry and racism, veiled under the guise of religion and culture. Pretty much every major religion is centered around the concept of loving one another, acceptance, growth, and inclusion. It's toxic, greedy, and fixed-minded people that choose to use it as a weapon. So she's 25, well on her way to 30, and still speaks like a small child about this stronghold of her family's judgment. OP, at this point, it sounds like you're volunteering to remain enmeshed. To be honest, everyone reading this knows what the right thing to do is, and so do you. but the way you speak sounds like you're just not going to break the cycle of abuse and you'll continue to volunteer to remain under their toxic thumbs. But I truly, deeply hope that you do not. Life is so much better when we have our own.
Good comment.
All but a crazy cat lady says, has OP even talked to her ex in 6 months? Does he know what happened? Has he moved on? And is he willing to accept her toxic, controlling family and her weak, spineless nature, even if he's still single?
Dang.
Dude.
I didn't like this comment as much as the last one.
Well, some commenters just like, well, clearly didn't grow up in this kind of environment, but it's
Yeah,
like when you're
incredibly
brought up like
toxic.
that,
Yeah.
it's hard to get out.
Yeah, I feel like when those are the cultural and also just like religious norms that you are raised in, it's super hard to go against them because you're raised that this is like everything. You have to honor this. And if you don't, then you're cast out and you lose the love of your family.
Personally, I think OP's ex dodged a bullet. Well, a whole family of them. Wow. OP replies, says, nah, I could never do 6 months without him. I reached out to him maybe like 3 days later, but you guys are right. I don't deserve to keep him by my side.
Whoa. Don't listen to the commenters. Don't let everyone win.
We've had that conversation many times, and I've always told him he doesn't deserve to deal with this, but he's willing to wait and fight this with me. So no, he's not my ex. We're still in contact, getting therapy, and making plans to get out of this. Thank you guys for the harsh words. I do need to hear them. And there's an update from 2 months later.
I hope you're out of this.
I think
hope
they
you're
are.
My dream is that you've gone no contact with your family and you're living with your boyfriend and you're planning marriage.
There's an update.
Woo.
2 months later. When I wrote that first post, I was emotional and depressed. So reading it now, even I can sense the oh, poor me tone in it. January me was probably expecting lots of sympathy or whatever, but you guys were harsh, and to be honest, I needed to hear that. You were completely right. While what my family did was evil and wrong, my life is in my hands, and it's my fault for not standing up for myself and my partner sooner. I can't keep expecting things to be done for me. I wanted to make this post to clarify some things and update you about what has happened since January. It may not be the most satisfying update, but I have at least changed a lot since then. First of all, I am still in contact with my partner. I don't blame you for assuming otherwise since that post was uploaded months later, so it was pretty confusing. But when my family made me block him everywhere and took my devices and basically threatened me not to talk to him, that lasted all of 3 days. It was in the middle of the night. I was crying hard because I missed him, but also because I was here alone, extremely heartbroken, just wishing someone would hold me and show real care towards what I was going through. I realized, wow. My family really doesn't give an F about me.
It sucks, but I'm glad that you're having that realization because
Yep.
I think it is necessary for you to get out of here.
They could have at least checked up on me, but when they did, it was more of a just making sure you still know your place type of check-in. So I reached out to him and told him everything. There was a lot of I told you so from him, and I really do give him a lot of credit for putting up with my BS. My entire life, I was trained like a monkey, as one of the comments said, to be obedient of minimal reward. I thought if I was gentle with my approach and still did everything they wanted, I would get what I wanted in the end because I earned it, right? No. And this is not a unique experience, unfortunately. This is so common with people in many cultures because parents believe they're entitled to make choices for their adult children. My partner was understanding and helped me finally see that the environment I'm living in is toxic and harmful. No amount of obedience and kindness is going to make them respect me. I've been getting therapy for months now, and shocker, it really helps. I would always question what I did wrong and how I could approach them differently to get better results. I would always question why my sister betrayed me like that. I would always question why my father told me I deserved to be hurt. I had so many other questions, but I've let go of caring about any sort of answer now. I've let go of the idea that I need approval from them. I've let go of ever having a civil conversation with them. I've let go of any expectations.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think once you do that, once you stop expecting things from people who will never give you those things, you lose that kind of, it's like the hope that unalives you kind of feeling. Or you're just hoping for something that's never going to happen.
Also, OP started off with this update saying it's not going to be a great update or it's not like a big update. This is a huge update. This is all positive.
It's a good update.
Yeah. You're still with your partner. You're cutting off your family pretty much. Or at least you realize your family sucks. You're going to therapy. I mean,
yeah, I think realizing that about your family, I think hopefully brings you some measure of like peace.
Yeah.
I still live with them, unfortunately. I don't talk to my dad, and I don't talk to my sister.
Damn, that sucks.
Well,
Yeah, imagine that war zone.
Oh,
Oh, man. Home is not where the heart is there.
no.
Boy.
I keep things cordial with my mom, but I don't trust confiding in her anymore because at the end of the day, she feels the need to side with her husband. And by the way, you can always side with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to a endless river of juicy stories. And we have a little bit left in this story. Yeah, I would just say work on moving out, finding a way for you and your partner to be closer together.
I think, I think that you have done a lot of the big, you've made a lot of big moves just in your life and in your, like, emotionally, with your parents, with your relationships. I think now it's time to move physically away from these people that suck.
You've taken major steps, huge steps. You got to take one giant leap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because
It's scary.
it's hard, it's scary, but you got to do that giant leap.
It do be scary out there.
Or at least progressing to make that giant leap to get out of that place.
It gets scary out here.
Mm-hmm.
Her 60-year-old man-child of a husband has been verbally abusing her for years and throwing tantrums anytime things didn't go his way. Instead of making him aware of himself, my sister and mom just choose to give him what he wants, no matter who it hurts.
Well, maybe now that you're deciding to stay with your boyfriend, he'll leave your mom.
Yeah, hopefully he'll implode the entire family unit and it'll be like, that was all my daughter's fault, actually.
Yeah.
It was my daughter's fault. Boo-hoo. I still have 2 years of education with no income, and I need this degree for my career. It wouldn't make sense to drop out temporarily, but I'm working on trying to find something on the side to depend on, and I will move out as soon as I can. To everyone saying he should leave me, I agree. Any man would have. Good thing he's an angel.
Aww.
Stop it, I'm going to throw up.
I love that.
Disgusting.
It's so
Adorable.
disgustingly cute.
And I can't sing that song Lips of an Angel because that's actually about cheating on your partner.
Yikes.
But,
Janny Elliott says, I'm sorry this entire time she was saying that he's not confrontational. Where in the story did he not seem confrontational? That was my point. She was like, yeah, me and my dad are both not confrontational. He's been confrontational every step of the way.
maybe she just like said that because that's what she's been told.
Yeah, he
It's
always
like he
says,
says he's
I'm not very
non-confrontational."
confrontational. But we got another story, folks,
We do.
and we're going to get into it. My boyfriend inherited a house, and it's burying us in debt.
Well, grab a shovel, honey.
Trigger warning for substance dependency, and this comes directly from the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, me, 30 female, and my partner, 30 male, have been together for 7 years, living together for 5. Our relationship is beautiful, and we care very much for each other. Right now, I'm in desperate need of advice on this matter. By the way, this comes from Cianofa Inversion. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we are from the same country, but met abroad while working together. After being friends for a while, we started dating, and we've been together ever since without any major problems. We rarely fight. We are both laid back. We basically hate drama and fights. We share fundamental values like political views, being child-free, having lots of pets, and not really being interested in marriage. Dude, seems like y'all are perfect for each other.
All right, we're starting pretty strong here.
We also bonded because we both like to smoke devil's lettuce and don't go out that often. We like staying home and chilling. I've always been the one that worries about finances, and I feel more comfortable knowing that we are not struggling. Being rich is not our goal, but I stress a lot if we need to ask for help. We were living our best life in the country where we met. We were living paycheck to paycheck, but we also treated ourselves often, and we never had any debts or needed economic help. Suddenly, in 2022, we had to return to our country because his father's health was declining, and not long after, he passed. It was difficult for both of us since we returned without jobs and without savings. He inherited the 200 square meter house. His parents were divorced and he's the only child, and his father's savings. I found a good job and I've been working part-time since then because it's the best option for us with many pets to take care of. We split chores equally. He cooks, I clean, since I'm a terrible cook and he's a terrible cleaner. We both pay bills and groceries according to our income. He didn't work for 1 full year because of the trauma of losing his father and the disgust of being back in this country. Even though I was worried, I understood and didn't push too much for him to go back to work. For 1 year, my low income was the only one. We finished his dad's savings and then he found a good full-time job nearby. The main issue, we kept our lifestyle of chillin' and smoking daily even though our incomes were way lower. I know, stupid behavior. When he inherited the house, he also inherited the mortgage calculated on his father's high income. The bank messed up the succession practice and it took over 2 years to complete, all while we were paying a monthly mortgage way too high for our pockets. The mortgage was still under his father's name and my boyfriend had to email the bank every month to know the variable rate. After fighting with the bank, we decided to stop paying temporarily so maybe they would wake up and do their job faster. It worked. Surprising.
Wow.
I was about to say that's probably not going to work.
The early bird makes the worms.
And we are at 90% completion now. But this took a toll on us and I had to get a loan to pay what we owed and avoid delays since I care very much about having a good credit score. I also have a car loan and need to pay back my parents who helped me buy it. $10,000 is a lot for me. His mother doesn't have many savings either, so we didn't want to burden her. With no savings and the increasing cost of living, we're still living paycheck to paycheck. We don't treat ourselves anymore except for the devil's lettuce. I feel so guilty when we smoke and have asked him multiple times to reduce or cut it completely since it's not necessary.
Well, you can do that without him. Like, you can choose to do that as well.
I do want to say, I guess they agree that they didn't really want to marry. But y'all aren't married. Like, why is this debt? It seems like a lot of the debt is falling on you. Like, a lot of this financial pressure has been falling on you for a long time.
That is very, very eyebrow raising.
Yeah. Like, it's not joint debt. It's his debt. And he didn't have a job for a year.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that he was dealing with the loss of his father, but why were you paying that? You know,
We need some kind of contract.
we stop for some time, but then he comes home with more and I'm weak and can't say no. My problem is that if I have it around, I'm not able to say no and start smoking. Then I completely switch off my brain, unable to do much around the house except waste my time being a couch potato, and I'm ashamed of this.
It's the shame cycle that keeps you going back.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like you're dealing with some sort of addiction here.
Yes, the shame, the cycle of shame will continue to push you back to the smoke
Yeah.
to subside the shame, but it's just an Ouroboros
Yeah.
that eats its own tail.
I think a lot of people talk about like weed and stuff not being addictive, which it doesn't, it's not like addictive in the same way that nicotine is, but like that feeling can be, you keep going back to that feeling of calm and
Yeah, I mean, often addiction isn't really the substance. It's
Yeah.
like the underlying motivation behind wanting to be,
yeah.
in like an altered state of some kind.
Like it might not, if you stop taking it, you might not have like a terrible reaction like you do with nicotine, but it's still something that you want to keep going back to. When we don't have anything, I make peace with it and keep living my life, even if I'm moody for the first 2 to 3 days. His problem is that when he's not smoking, he has the worst mood, and I can't speak to him about anything serious. His way of answering annoys me so much that we fight because I ask him to be less rude, but he says it doesn't matter how he says things, only what he says.
I love you!
I love you!
Oh, thank you so much for cleaning the house! I love it!
Lately, we're having more fights because with this huge house, I can't keep it up to my standards. But it's also the perfect house for all our pets with a big garden, and I don't want to leave it. I don't want to ask him for help because he's working full time, and his job is very physically demanding. So he's tired when he comes home, and he doesn't know how to clean properly. However, he never complains if he has to do something. A few days ago, he told me his bank account was under zero because the monthly rate went down, and he didn't have enough money to pay it. I told him I got the loan also to avoid this situation, and I was very disappointed in him not being able to manage his finances. It shows disrespect and disregard for me and for the efforts I made to keep us afloat. We discussed how to solve it, and eventually he asked his employer to pay out his holidays to have some money for the next payment and not mess up the credit score. By the way, you don't want to mess up your streak of listening to full episodes of stories just like this. So just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story.
Yeah.
Any final
sounds like you
thoughts?
should go on Caleb Hamer's show. Hamer?
Who?
It's the dude, it's financial audit. I don't know, man. Like,
I think that you need to, your boyfriend needs to take over on this.
there's a lot of responsibility being taken by you where it's like,
Yeah.
where, if down the line, things were not to work out, it's like, what do you take away from all of this? It's like,
Yeah.
you put all this money and assets into the house. You're taking out a loan for the mortgage that does not
But
have
it's
your
not
name
under your
on it.
name. That's the thing. It's like you don't own this house. It's not under your name. You don't
So-
have any like tie to it, as you said, if you were to break up. So why are you paying for
I
it?
think in an adult world, like, y'all can still not be married and still continue to do this and still try to improve, but there needs to be some sort of legal framework in place so that, like,
Yes.
if, things don't work out, that you can be compensated based on the amount of money that you've put into the property that is, because it's legally not yours.
Yeah.
It might be a weird thing to be presented with as, like, a partner in a relationship, but, like,
Yeah.
there's, like, two paths forward. It's like you either, like, okay, either get put on the property as, an owner as well, and you guys navigate that, or it's like, because it just seems like he's just kind of really comfortable taken, but not very comfortable, like, given financially. Maybe in other aspects, of the relationship, seems like it's not that bad. It's like he comes home, he works on the house, whatever. Sometimes he works now and it's demanding, but, like, it needs to be fair.
Every day I feel more stressed. Not smoking doesn't help because of this situation. I don't sleep well anymore. I often have panic attacks and I cry a lot by myself. When I speak to him about my feelings and worries, it seems like I am the most panicked woman on the planet and I should just chill because everything will settle eventually. This is such an annoying take. Like for OP
sometimes
to
that's
be,
right,
yeah.
but not right
Not-
now.
No, but it feels like a very like stoner. Fine, let's just like smoke and everything will be chill.
Yeah, no.
She's like, no, I'm paying for your mortgage.
Sometimes things are not fine and need attention, but
Um,
sometimes you're right.
Sometimes, yeah, you can have a little
Sometimes
chill.
you just gotta chill.
But it won't if he keeps being careless with his money. I don't want to tell him how to spend his money, but he's an adult, but I can't keep living like this. I'm also not the type to give or take ultimatums, not my style at all. I'm at a breaking point now. I don't feel comfortable with the person I am now, always worried and never happy. I don't have hobbies anymore because it feels like a waste of time when I should focus on more important things. What do I do? Should I start being controlling and take care of all the finances? I don't want to. It's not my place. It's not your place because they're not. You shouldn't have to be paying those finances.
I think go to him and first just present with the question of like, so what does this feel fair?
Yeah, man.
And does it feel fair that what's going on financially, or it's like, okay, so let's break it down.
Break it down now, y'all.
I don't know. I would seriously consider it. Dude, if my girlfriend took out how much was the loan?
I'm not sure.
If my girlfriend took out a loan to pay my mortgage, do you know how much I'd be like, I every dollar of that I will pay you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this
You
is
should be working so
my
hard.
house. Every cent that you have given me for that loan, I will be repaying in full.
Yeah.
And so for him to not immediately be on that is like, I don't know. It feels like it's moving into a place where he just kind of expects to be paid for in a way. And then
Yeah.
it's all chill. It'll all work out. Yeah, because
you're not
you're
paying
there.
for it.
and if that's the vibe, I don't know.
This is
The
gonna work in the long
relationship
term.
doesn't sound healthy.
But that is the end of that story, and we've got some comments from a previous video.
No freaking way.
Comments from the video, my fiance dumped me while pregnant. And this was posted September 12th, 2025. TLDR, OP, 35 female, was engaged to a man, 39 male, with a teen daughter who never liked her. When OP got pregnant, the daughter faked messages to make it look like OP hated her. Fiance kicked OP out and ended the engagement. Later, the lie was exposed and he begged OP to come back. Now OP has to decide if she can trust him again or if the betrayal ruined everything for good. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video.
We have comment 1 and 2 by Crunchberry Blue.
Mm.
It's a life-altering lie. The daughter needs to be held accountable and immediately taken for an evaluation. And follows up with, what kind of father would I be? In parentheses with a question mark. LOL, what kind of husband are you?
Yeah.
Trash.
Bad one. Bad one. Didn't do your due diligence, dude.
As the baby of a second marriage whose preteen half-sister was not happy about it, my sister did awful things to me as a baby. No abuse. She would trash things and blame me, leading to me being punished. Absolutely an angry 14-year-old who would actively try to wreck a marriage needs to be considered a serious risk unsupervised around a baby. 100%, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if she was already pulling this type of stuff, I would be worried.
Again, as siblings, you and I mean, you're the younger one, I'm the older one, but did Sam ever do that for you or vice versa?
Like jealousy stuff?
Not jealousy per se, but when you were younger and you would...
No.
No.
Sam was always good brother.
Good brother.
I got him in trouble a lot.
Good brother.
You got him. Okay, so
Yeah.
my sister got me in
Wow, what
trouble
did
a
you
lot.
do to
I got
him?
him. I would
What did you do?
I would stub my toe and
Blame
cry
Sam.
and be like, Sam.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, my sister was the same way.
I don't know, man.
My parents would get upset they would get upset at me for doing
Yeah.
things, but then if my sister did it,
I one time I've told this story before, but there was a that was easy button. So I'd that was easy. That was easy. That was easy. My mom's like, stop. Who's doing that? And I went, Sam. Great stuff.
and we have a final comment here by Mia's 1385. In S1, therapy for the daughter, and he punted his pregger's wife out? Tell me he bends over backwards for the daughter and has let the resentment fester. I think OP should bounce. She's not the a-hole. If she does give him a chance, it would be while she stays with her family and he starts making serious changes with that family dynamic. Because what happens if she goes back? Is this gonna be a yo-yo situation? Nah, for that, Sharks.
I'm out.
And for that, Sharks, I throw you to the sea.
But folks, that is the end of those comments and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.